Joining me now is Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jack Dale. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about budget today, and just to recap for our viewers, you presented a proposed budget in early January, then the board adopted an advertised budget in early February, and here we are in March. Where are we?
Officially presenting the advertised budget to the Board of Supervisors recently, and so that's basically where we are in the process. And then through probably between now and the end of April, the Board of Supervisors will wrestle with the tax rate, the allocation to the various capital programs and the operating budget for us. And then, of course, we're still waiting on Richmond to decide what Richmond's going to do with the state budget, because we have 20% of our money that comes from there, and we have some $20 to $30 million variables that are still out there on the table. We don't know what will happen.
Right, and they're not going to resolve that until when?
That's actually a good question. We really don't know. The last time this occurred, it was like late into May and early June before it was resolved, I think in 2004.
Right.
So we'd hope it was before then. But
right. Now, the county executive has given a recommendation for the transfer, which is 4.5%. Right.
Yeah, and we asked for 8.4%. Big difference is, well, actually a lot of things driving it. We have a huge increase in enrollment. Over the last 5 years, we've had about 15,000 more students, which is just an amazing amount. That amount alone is larger than many Virginia school divisions.
Right.
And then within that 15,000, plus our normal churn of students, we actually have increasing numbers of children who are coming from families who can't afford all the accoutrements of life and are eligible for free and reduced meals. Right. So our poverty indicator, and then also children who are learning English for the first time. And those two groups of kids are important for us to watch, because we actually decrease class sizes for kids learning English and decreasing class sizes for children who come from more impoverished backgrounds, because their literary skills tend not to be up with their peers. So we lower class sizes, accelerate their learning, and get them caught up with their peers. So the dollar price tag just alone for next year's membership growth of about 4,000 is about $47 million, because we need all these different support systems around those kids.
And that's the biggest ticket item in the budget.
Yeah, it really is in terms of additional positions. Yeah, there's some custodial positions, some maintenance workers that we're trying to do with our preventative maintenance program. But I think out of our 740 or so positions, 680 are for instruction and related activities in the schools. The bulk of those are obviously classroom teachers, but another 150 or so are English as a second language teachers. We have about 70 or so instructional aides that go with that, guidance counselors and that sort of thing, round out the program for those kids. Right,
and just to emphasize, 93% of our positions are school-based.
Yeah, and we've actually, over the last probably 3 years, increase the percentage of our staff that are directly in the school serving kids, in part because during difficult budget times what we tried to focus cuts on were central office, and so we've become rather lean there compared to all our surrounding jurisdictions, and so we could concentrate resources to meet the needs of our kids.
Right. Now, the Virginia retirement system has some costs associated with it. Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, the Virginia retirement system is the big one, which we all, or the bulk of our employees, are members of. And in the past, that has been, the rate of contribution was set at lower than the actuaries would recommend it, and they also lost a great deal of money, like many people did in the market a few years ago. And so now we're trying to make that gap up, if you will, and we're waiting for the legislature to determine the amount of contribution or the rate of contribution that we have to give as a system. That's one piece, which affects our bottom line, because right now that could vary 10, 15, even $20 million. Another variation, which people will see and think it's different, but it's kind of left pocket, right pocket, is there may be a mandate that all employees contribute out of pocket into the retirement system. And with that mandate says, instead of us contributing, the employee will, but take that money from the school system and give employees a raise. Right. And the mandate is around a 5%. Now, it may be phased in, it may be all at once, we'll see. But the net effect for an employee is it's 5% increase in pay, but 5% decrease in contribution. So it's just a shifting.
Right.
What that does for us, though, as a school system, it actually cost us an additional $15 million, because when you inflate people's salaries, you have to pay the employer's portion of Social Security and a bunch of other things that go with that. Bottom line, with all the employees we have, we could see a swing of a negative $15 million in that. So we're waiting anxiously to find out the legislative process or resolution to our budget to
Right.
determine how much money we have to work with.
Right, and if the state doesn't come in with their budget until late May, we have to come in with our budget about the same time.
And all we'll be able to do is do an estimate.
Okay.
Now, granted, only 20% of our money comes from the state,
Right.
but when you're varying it by 15, 20, $30 million, that's a lot of positions and people,
Right.
or salary increases or not.
Right.
And so we have a
lot
lot
of uncertainty.
uncertainty with that.
Well, I know you'll be back to share with us information when you have it.
Yes.
Thank you.